Hi, my name is Jamie Nguyen, and I'm from the National Geographic Creative Studios. Today, I'm here to talk to you about rivers. One specific river called the Rio Grande River. The Rio Grande River is the fourth or fifth largest river in the United States and the 20th largest river in the whole world. Its distance is 1,186 miles. The Rio Grande River goes through many states. And speaking of that, let's get started on our first topic, the geography of the Rio Grande River.
The Rio Grande River is located in south-central Colorado and ends at the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see here, the Rio Grande River's source is the San Juan Mountains, which is located in Colorado. Then it flows through New Mexico, then it turns west and borders Texas and Mexico. And finally, the Rio Grande River flows to its mouth, the Gulf of Mexico. Then, as you can see on the arrows on this model, the Rio Grande River has to flow southward in order to reach its mouth. The Rio Grande River is also important in many different ways, and that is what I'm going to talk to you about next. One way that the Rio Grande River is important is because of its culture. I have some facts that shows that the Rio Grande River is important to its culture. Less than 150 years ago, Native Americans were known to live in the Rio Grande River, and many types of Pueblo people lived north of the Rio Grande River. Many Native Americans also used the water of the Rio Grande River. A group called the Isleta del Serplato has been using it for a long time. They were one of the first people to use the water of the Rio Grande River, and they hold it sacred. But not just that, there also have been many myths about the Rio Grande River. One is that in Europe, they thought that there were monsters that live in the Rio Grande River. According to an explorer named Juan de Ornade and a priest, Father Francisco de Escobar, they went to travel at the Rio Grande River, and they saw human-like creatures that had ears that reached the ground. They saw others that could sleep underwater too. And in Mexico, they believed in a spirit called La Llorona. Based on my sources, La Llorona haunts the Rio Grande River and captures kids who play late at night and send them to a watery tragedy. But there are many other ways that the Rio Grande River is important to culture, but the river is also important to the environment. But sadly, the river is starting to have problems. Next up, I'm going to talk about the recent environmental concerns of the Rio Grande River. There have been many problems with the Rio Grande River, and it is really bad. The Rio Grande River has been overused, and the river is starting to run out of water. And the population of the cities that depend on the Rio Grande River is starting to grow. Mexico and the United States depend on the Rio Grande River, so this is a major problem for the cities that need water from the Rio Grande River. Some plants like tamarisk and giant cane grow at the banks of the Rio Grande River. The plants extend out their roots out into the river, and then the roots absorb the water away. The river has also been polluted heavily. Sewage has been poured into the Rio Grande River. No one bothers to clean this up, so there is a lot of sewage there. There have been many dead fish appearing on the surface of the Rio Grande River. There also have been many complaints that the water of the river has high levels of bacteria and there is a bad odor. And some parts of the river have been flooding too much, while some parts of the river have lost water. And those are some of the environmental concerns that is going on in the Rio Grande River. I hope that learning these facts starts to make you a little more aware about how important rivers are to us. But next up, we are going to talk about how important rivers are to citizens. The Rio Grande River is a natural border for both the United States and Mexico. The Rio Grande River is also a place for fun. The Rio Grande River has a large meander which people call Big Bend. Now it is called the Big Bend National Park. Many people visit to the Big Bend National Park to enjoy the scenics of the Rio Grande River. The Rio Grande River is also a water source for many cities along its path. Many Native Americans who used to live close to the Rio Grande River has used the river as a water source. The Rio Grande River also helps irrigate crops with the help of dams. 75% of the Rio Grande River is used for irrigation. As you can see, the Rio Grande River is very important to others. It is a place for recreation and a river that is heavily depended on. But like I said, the river helped irrigate crops with the help of dams. And next up, you will learn how these dams have affected the river. And I must tell you, it affected the river heavily. The Rio Rio Grande River has many dams along its path. The purpose is to irrigate crops, bring electricity to the cities, and help with flow control. But sadly, there are many side effects to these, even though it helps us in our needs. For example, people created diversions for the Rio Grande River, but the diversions have been making the flow of the Rio Grande River slower. The Rio Grande River used to be a fast-flowing river, but sadly, since these modifications, it's been really slow. And another negative impact is that the Rio Grande River has been running really dry. At Big Bend National Park and El Paso, Texas, the Rio Grande River seems really dry and out of water. And because the river was so dry, the Rio Grande River failed to reach the Gulf of Mexico in 2001. And there's barely any water at El Paso. So, another negative impact is that the tributaries of the Rio Grande River have been heavily used for irrigation. Sounds really bad, but I hope you learn from this information. I want you all to know that many people depend on the Rio Grande River, but the river is starting to run dry and dirty, and the people who need it might not have what they need. I hope you learned that we need to preserve rivers and appreciate what they provide us, because if we don't preserve rivers, we might lose the things that they provide us. I guess that wraps up our video. I hope you have a blast learning, and I hope you learn to preserve rivers and appreciate the many ways it helps us in our needs. Thank you for watching. Bye.